Greetings and welcome back to Switch to Linux. This is the first one of our live supporter hangouts during the, what time is it? New Year, that's right. I got to double check my cameras. All right, making sure I have the right cameras set the right places. All right. Wow. All right. Oh boy. Let me also turn that down a little bit, turn gain down, so I'm going to yell into it like that again. I don't redline quite as much. All right, I think we're good. I know I've not gotten a new soundboard. It's closer and easier to use, and since I'm this close to the microphone, I have more control. Vince, do we have you now? Hey, now we hear you, Vince. How's it going there? Vince is once on and off things. All right, so... Oh, of course, there. Now you can hear Vince. I could hear you. I had you muted, so... Anyway, let's go ahead and jump on over. How's everybody doing today?
Do you have 2020 vision?
Do I have 2020 vision? No. Although
I want to see how long that takes before it gets old.
Yeah.
I do have to say though, that I actually, my Bible that I carry with me to church, I just put a little small one in my pocket, and it actually has 6-point font. Kid you not. So people are like, "How can you read that?" I know. I know. I like it. But anyway. All right, so greetings. We are talking here about the where were you a decade ago, and tying this into some wonderful big tech and big data. Let me fix my camera a little bit there. I was yelling at pizza earlier, and my camera wasn't working right. So we got Dan, we got Derek, we got Pizza, we got Vince, and if you are following along, if you are a supporter on Think Life Media or on Patreon, you will have the links. I am starting to set up the YouTube stuff. I just need to do another video. But of course, YouTube was exciting yesterday, and community striked my Who Next video. So I'm like, no, there's nothing in here that even comes remotely close to your content violations. But I went ahead and asked them, you know, hey, is this related to Tor? If it is, let me know, and I'll take Tor videos off. And hey, we'll just go exclusive to BitChute and library for those, I guess. I don't know. But I'm looking at doing some other things as well. So yeah, I did not put those new end screens in yet because I'm going to do the first videos that I do that are going to be on the Friday news edits. So when I edit the Friday news, those will be the ones that will have the supporters listed. So thank you everybody for your support. And whoa, Derek underwent binary fission. How's it going? All right. Sorry, I was a geeky scientist. Other big news, I was talking about, hey, I'll get a Discord server set up soon. Well, soon happened today. I didn't have any big client work to do. I'm like, let's just go ahead and do it. So I dropped the link for that in there. So if you are on Discord, go ahead and jump on. So we have we're going with the lizard people thing over there. So I am, of course, the Tinfoil Hat Lizard King. We got the Tinfoil Hat Patrol. Watch out. They do have banning powers. And then we'll do some other stuff down as we go down the road. And I'm still kind of learning how to run the Discord. So we'll kind of see how it works. And with all that, I am actually monitoring comments over on Discord on the Distro Talk, which we are going to rename that Distro Talk to something else at Pizza's recommendation. So we'll just have Distro Talk somewhere else, and we'll just have, I don't know, should we have like the alien spaceship forum or
what I would do is I would duplicate Distro Talk, and then you get all the settings from general, and then you could just rename the original.
Oh, okay, that works. Sure, sounds good.
That's what I always do when I need to make a new channel.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of going all over the place. My brother's over there as well. My brother's Mavis Games. He's in there. If you really want to see the total destruction of your entire argument of nature versus nurture, I swear we do actually have the same parents. We do have the similar genetics, and we were raised in the same house at the same time for the same length of time, and we are 100% opposites. But he's actually over there as well. His Discord server is Mavis Games.
Sorry.
So. But yeah, he's posting something about Karate Kid having no mercy, I guess. And then we got some other things. Pizza. Us Universe is sending you some stuff with Peter Parker coming up. Of course, he just walked away. But anyway, that's what we have going on over there. So how are you guys doing today?
It appears the YouTube stopped.
YouTube stopped? Did it stop for everybody?
Okay, just a second. No.
Okay, I'm still showing good. I'm still showing good on my end.
Yeah, some reason between the Discord and the web page and stuff like that, I hit the stop button.
Ah, okay. There you go. Let's see. Rex Warden, decade ago, I could still enjoy things. 2 decades ago, I could still desire things. All right. A couple 10 more years, and he'll be yeah. Wise man once said, "There is not. It is not age; it is the mileage." Prolonged, terrible experiences wear down the soul. Okay. California 916. A decade ago, I was starting to get hooked on Facebook and fighting to succeed in my first college stint. Okay. Today, I'm embracing open source outlets. Very good. Very good. Olden days, YouTube told me not to use my real name online, so I never made a Facebook account. That's right. I remember that. Remember those days? 10 years ago. Like, it was, I think it was like 12 years ago is when the death of internet usernames occurred, and everyone's like, use your real names now.
I still use Pizza Living Nerd because it's a cool name.
Hey, man. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sometimes it's too long, so I have to think of something different. Like for Activision, I use Pizza Nerd.
There you go. Yes, hindsight is always 2020. Hello, Joe. Greetings. Anna Rita. Hello there. Hunter One. How's it going? Switch to Firefox for the win. Vivaldi keeps automatically muting me for some strange reason. I don't know. I'm on Chromium today, but we'll see if it lasts.
Yeah, it's never happened to me before. Just today.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's weird quirk. Are you on Arch?
Yep.
An update happened. some update broke it.
Yeah, we know Vince loves Arch.
Jojo the Crazy Clown's here. Hello, Jojo. Greetings.
You know, it's funny. More people run, according to a survey I took for my most recent video, more people run Ubuntu-based distros than any other distro, but more people prefer Arch distros than Ubuntu-based distros. So some people are on Ubuntu even though they prefer Arch.
Could it be they can't get their Arch distro to run for long periods of time without crashing?
It could just be use cases, like they like Arch for personal computing, but then at work they have to use Ubuntu or something.
Well, that's partially true. I'm using Pop OS.
All right. Hey, I'm using Linux Mint. Love my Linux Mint. So.
I mean, Fedora is actually my favorite. It's just I use Arch because I want the newest software for YouTube. So that when I make videos, like, they don't go out of date as quickly.
Yeah, there you go.
Like
Clint
that time.
says, I thought the Lizard King is Zuckerberg. No.
Like,
Zuckerberg is not a lizard people. Stop saying that Zuckerberg and Clinton, stop saying these are lizard people. They are not lizard people, for crying out loud. I am a lizard person. They are not lizard people. They are not one of us.
And the nice thing about Arch is it prevents me from situations like when in April, Tom made a Caden Live video the day that it got a redesign, and it was with the old design.
Hey, I'm still running the old version. Why not, right? Yeah.
That's what Arch.
Zuckerberg, by the way, he's the Borg. Zuckerberg is not a lizard people. He is the Borg. He is the chief representative of the Borg.
You know what they say though about the old version? It's not the old version. It's the classic version.
It's better anyway. I can't get on this Windows 10 system. I decided to install Caden Live. I could not get 1904 or 19 or the new one to work at all on Windows 10, so I had to downgrade to 1810 in order to get it to work.
Okay, so here's a good. Would using Ubuntu be bad for privacy? But getting them extensions. Okay, so the Ubuntu data collection is not bad. It's bad enough that I do not like the way and how they're doing it. But what we have with it is it pings their server on install. Either it says an install occurred and they don't want us to send data, but that in and of itself is still collection. Or it will actually give specs of your system, which is a fingerprint of your computer. Not a huge deal breaker. The other thing is it does have PopCon installed but not activated, which is concerning to me that's even installed because they could simply toggle it on in an update sometime. Versus Debian gives you the option to install it or not install it. But what that's going to do is, I think it's once a week, is when PopCon runs. And what it does is it gets a list of the programs and how frequently you use them and sends them. So I'm not a fan of any of that type of data collection. it's not overall that bad in the scheme of things. Ubuntu is about as safe as you can get it without, you know, without getting bad. So I wouldn't worry about it, but it's also something that there's other choices that are just as good, if not better, that don't do that. So I think that that's probably the better thing.
The reason I don't use Ubuntu anymore is because of snaps.
Yes, that's my big issue as well. The YouTube page to the front of your Discord profile, make it look more legit. Check DMs. All right. Yeah, send me DMs on that kind of stuff, Farron. I see that you did, and I'll look into those as soon as I can.
I stopped using Ubuntu because it simply is just too heavy.
Yeah, the version of GNOME they use, it's like morbidly obese. It like doesn't work at all. It's so
It's
slow.
obese. They've added Snapd, which makes it even heavier, and there's other
Yeah.
things going on in the background for detecting printers and hardware and all kinds of other junk that you really don't need for everything. That makes it kind of really heavy, even on a new machine.
Yeah, exactly. Like, here's the thing: a lot of people say GNOME is super heavy. That's because they've only used it on Ubuntu. If you go on Arch and you start GNOME, it's actually super fast. But then on Ubuntu, for some reason, GNOME is just super slow on Ubuntu. But then you can go to Pop! OS and it's fast again, and Pop! OS is Ubuntu based.
Well, yeah, and then they add that HWE hardware enablement stack right alongside a already heavily stacked kernel, and it seems to drag even worse. I get gaps in my audio when my computer's starting to do
And
real
then-
work.
And then they also are replacing Chromium on apt with snaps. So there's a reason I'm not using sudo snap install Chromium. There's a reason I'm doing sudo apt install Chromium instead, but then it installs a snap.
Exactly.
At what point are they going to do that with everything and not just Chromium?
They have with a few other apps, because when we were doing our distro challenge for Big Daddy, it's like I installed a whole pile of software and it put in half of it as snaps. And I
Yeah,
did it
I
all.
hate how many mount points snaps
Yeah.
make. It makes systemd take forever to boot.
Yeah, I want to see. I want to see what Linux Mint does with the Ubuntu 2004 LTS releases with Chromium. My guess is they're going to go back to Debian's, but I don't know because they are completely anti-snap.
Yeah,
They
I
can
like
keep
how
Chromium in their repository, can't they? Linux
Yeah,
Mint.
they could actually put Chromium in there.
But they'd have to maintain it themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think would be a problem for them. I mean, they're not exactly a single team people with no resources. So
Yeah, I'm a fan of how they do Flatpaks, where they list both of them, except the Flatpak actually says FlatHub in its name and its software center.
yep.
For a new user, that could be a little bit confusing, but if you know what FlatHub is, it's really useful.
So Clint
I
gave us
personally am a
list
fan
of.
of.
Yep. Go ahead, Derek.
I personally am a very big fan of flat packs over snaps.
Mhm.
They seem to work a lot better in many different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead and I'm going to save my comments where I am there. Let's go ahead and dive on into our topic for the day. Wow, I never double-checked my article view. Let me make sure my article view is actually working today. Hey, it looks like it's working. All right, so we, of course, wanted to start out the new year talking about what have we been up to in the last decade. Of course, if you saw the wonderful picture on the thumbnail on this, yes, that was actually me 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was big into geocaching. In fact, I was like number 5 in my state or something. And so, I took a photo from that. So, that was fun. I looked a little fatter back then, and I think I was a little fatter back then. In fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I was about 15 or 20 pounds heavier back then than I am now. So that's good news for now, anyway. But so that's kind of 10 years ago. But then the question is, what types of things were we up to in tech? Do you remember, and does Google or Facebook or other big tech remember? So those are good things to keep in mind. So what do you guys think? Give me some initial thoughts. Really, why I pulled the wrong articles up today. Wow, I am that far out of the loop of things. All right, you guys talk while I pull up the right articles.
For me, there were two
So-
parts of the 2000s. There's a post-fetus era and a pre-fetus era.
That's right, because pizza's young.
Anyways, all I
Oh, boy.
remember, the only tech things I remember is that weird, bulky Dell laptop that was made that like was gray looking, and it was that one that exploded, and we had it, and whenever we plugged it in, we would always start smelling smoke, and that's why we switched to Mac. Anyways, I also remember iGoogle and Windows Vista. I actually miss iGoogle. It was pretty good. It was like a homepage thing, and they got rid of it. I don't know why. And you could put like widgets on it. It's similar to the Android home screen, but Google. But I also remember getting viruses on my mom's Windows Vista computer.
Oh, that
So,
was
yeah.
a common thing back then.
Yeah, I would always go onto like game websites, and I'd click ads thinking that they were games, but then it was a virus.
Yep, that's it. Now, so like in my experience cleaning people's viruses out, which I used to do a decade ago, I've seen more viruses from coupon websites and toolbars than anything. I remember this one
Coupon?
time I was out cleaning out this elderly person's computer, and the husband sitting there going, I don't know what my wife keeps doing, and we keep on getting these viruses on here, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah, it's all this, it's all these things. Like, man, he's like, yeah, all I'm doing is coming on and looking at my coupons. Sir, all your viruses are from your coupon add-ons.
You just got
It
a
ain't your way.
discount on your virus.
Yeah, there you go. So, all right. Here we are. I have the correct article up now. Anybody else want to mention a 10-year ago story before we dive into the articles here?
Oh, let
It's
it
been
roll.
so long.
I remember clearly, but if you want to go with the article, go ahead.
All right. So this is just kind of a thought, one of these end of the year thing, January 1, the reporters are not exactly asked to do anything super, super crazy. Here's what I was thinking a decade ago, according to Google's records. So he's talking about, there's this Reddit page over here. And the Reddit page, most people are posting pics of themselves at the beginning of the decade in order to show how far they've progressed in life. If you find that boring, how about using Google's servers to find out exactly what you were thinking 10 years ago? So if you happen to be logged in and listening to this on a Google account, go ahead and click this link here, which is myactivity.google.com. Even my account, which I never use, had things going back to 2012. I mean, not a lot, because I was very good about never logging into a Google account before, except for when I was doing something. So, web developer, obviously I have a Google account for all the different sites that I'm managing. So, getting in there, doing all the different things, and then I always make sure to intentionally log out of Google. But they ended up collecting like 8 or 10 activities, as it were, that I was able to look at going, I remember watching that video. I have no idea why I would watch that video. Did somebody hack my computer? That's my thoughts. So
That's me whenever I look at my YouTube history.
Yeah, and it's not just YouTube history. It goes back a whole lot of other things. It says if you're signed in here and you are almost, and you're almost there, here's where it gets creepy. It shows all your Google searches and how many times and what times you visited any website, searched anything on Google, and what apps you've opened. Yeah, pretty creepy, but whatever. I think you can delete it somewhere. So, of course, there is a place to delete it. But that's the fun story is, does anyone here keep a journal of any form?
No, not me, at least.
Yeah.
I can't spell good enough.
Vince, am I the only one, or do you keep one too, Vince?
You are the only one, Tom.
I'm the only one. All right. Okay. So
You're the
I'll go
only
ahead
one
and
who
take
cares
the
about
lead on this.
math.
I
go
don't
and
really
take-
understand the point of them. I guess it'd be cool to look at in like 10 years, but
All
I
right.
don't know.
Yeah. Pizza, as young as you are, I'm going to encourage you. Create a journal. And don't do it on computer. Do it in your own hand. Buy a journal. Just keep a little journal. You update it like once a week or something. Because it's so cool to look back, a decade back, and see in your own hand the things you were thinking, the things you were doing. I think these are very important things. The question is, though, is that is important enough to give that all that data to a tech company, especially in our current age where people are losing their jobs over something they tweeted when they were 17 years old, a decade ago, which has been happening. I mean, James Gunn comes to mind,
But the bigger question is, do people feel they have a choice? And I'm not
Yeah.
talking about people like us who are aware of what's going on. I'm talking about general people. Do they know that they have a choice?
Yeah, I guess that's a valid argument, right?
I guess I have one journal right now. It's the Border OS development one.
There you go. Hey, better than nothing.
Actually, I did encourage my daughter to keep a journal, but that sort of stopped happening after about the first 3 months.
Yeah, maybe encourage her again. So, because it's good
Gonna
to
have to.
look back and think about. But the thing is, like, I don't mind the journal because it's something that's I can control. That's why I like it being offline. I like it being in one single book. Yeah, you could lose the book. Yeah, someone could break in and steal the book, but it's not being used against you. And the thing is that all people are flawed. All people make mistakes. All people have problems and challenges. And in light of all of that, it's important to recognize that we do change, we do evolve over our life. We get hopefully better over years, although some of us might get worse. And it's not good for the tech companies to have access to that information. It's way better if we have access to it, but nobody else does. So that's kind of where I wanted to get at today. Any other comments on that part there?
My thoughts for that is I don't want to put any thoughts that I have into a book that someone can possibly steal. I'd rather just keep it all locked up here. And if it gets damaged, oh well.
Yeah. There's some valid arguments in that as well.
There's a reason that all of my social media accounts, I just use them for my YouTube channel, really. But I feel like before I did YouTube, I didn't really think before I speak online. But now that I'm under the name Pizza Living Nerd, whenever I'm about to say something online, I think about the Pizza Living Nerd branding and how what I'm saying could affect it and stuff. So I feel like my YouTube channel has gotten me to think more online.
That's really good, and that's also a really important lesson to learn when you're young, that your online activity does have long-term ramifications, and we have to recognize that.
Them skills, Pete, also carry over to when you get older and you finally get to the point where you get a job.
Yeah,
Very true.
that is correct. So let's have a look at this article a little bit more here. So he goes over to his Google's activity page and filters down to February 2010. That would be a decade ago. Didn't actually use Google on New Year's Day or every day for that matter, clearly. I wasn't addicted to my phone back then, which makes sense. He probably didn't even have a smartphone back then. Or if he did, the phones then, even the smartphones, were not really in 2010. If you had a smartphone at all, it was an iPhone, and you were probably a New York executive.
I had a flip phone.
Yeah. I mean, I got my first smartphone in 2012, and I was still a fairly early adopter. Let's see. I didn't usually use, okay. Probably using an original Motorola Droid, seeing how I was eagerly reading about how modders had managed to overclock the chipsets, so it identified what he was looking into. I was searching for Google Map directions to a specific address in Brisbane and South San Francisco. Oh, that's right. I was between jobs desperately interviewing in every video game publication I could. All those directions are to and from my parents' old address because, of course, I was still living at home. Not things I necessarily would have wanted people to know. So it raises that question, how many of you know that all of that information is in there and what you can do about it?
I just wanted to say that Android phones, they were always super slow, and they weren't very good until Android KitKat came out.
Yeah, which version was KitKat? That was 4?
The one before Lollipop.
Yeah, I know what sequence, but it's at 4?
I think it was like 4.2 or something.
Okay. Yeah, I think my first Android was 2.
I actually, I used to have an iPod Touch for like playing games and stuff on it, but before I got it, they got me a cheap Android phone first, just without a SIM card to use as like an iPod Touch, and it was garbage. So then we returned it and got an iPod Touch.
So that raises another fascinating question, though. One of the factors with our modern world of the smartphones and things is that on your computer, it's a lot easier to sign in and sign out, although they are making it a little bit harder. But on a phone, it's a lot harder to do that. So everything on your phone is generally being stored in somebody's servers, whereas things you do on your computer may not be. And I think that that's another important distinction to remember. So is it important to keep this information from the big tech companies as much as conceivably possible? I'm not saying we can do it completely. There's always definitely trade-offs. Like there's trade-offs in setting up this Discord server. You know, Discord collects some data, and if I'm not mistaken, do I remember correctly that the desktop app is worse for your privacy than the browser?
It isn't if you use the Flatpak.
If you use the Flatpak, better or
Yeah,
worse?
because it can see what it does is it sees what programs are running so that it can show your games. So like it shows what games you're playing. However, the Flatpak can't do that because of containment.
Okay, so if I install
So if you install it as a Flatpak, it's
use
about
the
the same
Flatpak.
as a browser.
Nice. All right, that's a good thing to know.
Oh, you just figured out why I have that issue, why I used to be able to have my games posted by my name when I was playing with it, and it no longer happens anymore.
Yeah.
Because I switched to a flat pack.
Cool. Well, which is probably better for your privacy, though. I mean, I wonder if there's a
Well,
workaround you can do. But I don't
when
know.
you're using Debian and you want modern software, you kind of got to dig and scrape underneath the internet to find it.
Yeah, that's true. So he goes on talk about the restaurants. Here's a restaurant reserved for my girlfriend, not yet fiance or wife's surprise birthday party. The gift I remember buying her. This is a lot of stuff that it has about us. Some of the other burning questions in my much younger mind: what is a can of Coke or a can of beer that Dr. Brown poured into Mr. Fusion in Back to the Future Part 2? And can I fry French fries at home? It's not what I was exactly thinking 10 years ago, but I'm definitely getting a clearer picture of the person I used to be back then. So, what do you guys think? Is it good for Google to have all that information?
It's kind of scary. I'm looking at my activity from 2010, and it's insane.
Is there anything you would care to share?
Probably not. I wouldn't want to share any of it personally.
Understandable. Yep.
I mean, on the bright side, a lot of companies, you can't really see your data that easily, whereas Google, you can just go to that page and easily see everything they collect, and that way you know what you're sharing.
Yeah, and for the reference as well, you can actually get in there easily and delete it, which is another good thing about the way Google's doing it. So we do have that option. Of course, the new California privacy law went into effect, was it yesterday or today? I don't know, one of those 2 days. And that will require any company that offers any data services to 50,000 or more California residents to allow them to do an opt-out. Although, because it's too difficult to implement something for one state, pretty much they're pushing that out to worldwide. So the good news is we do have more options. The bad news is how easy is it going to be to execute on those options?
Does it have that cookies option that you didn't like from GDPR?
I do not remember. I do not know. Hopefully I'll get a chance to research it for the news, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
So I started deleting all my Google history after I saw that Lewis Rossman video where he was explaining how Google records and saves all your voice searches.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone remembers seeing that. And so I've got no idea what I was searching for in 2010. Probably some holiday I was planning or something like that. But that reminds me, I need to go back and delete my history again.
I'm actually interested in what my first Google search was. Let's find out.
While you're looking that up, the settings that you have now, you can set it to auto delete after 1 year, 6 months, and I think 3 months. Of course, you can always get in there and manually delete stuff as well. So the good news is, and then of course, if we want to put on our tinfoil hats, we can ask that fun question: are they really deleting it, or are they really using it behind? That's my scratchy.
Yeah,
AJ
that's
voice.
where I was going. Who's to say, even though you deleted it, you just didn't
Yeah.
turned it off so you can't see it anymore,
Correct.
and
Yep.
they're
And-
hoarding
Yeah, and
My bet
because
is they're
that's
still
what
up.
somewhere else.
that's what Facebook does. When you delete something on Facebook, it doesn't delete; it just hides it from you. All right,
I mean,
Pete,
I
did
still
you
remember
find
the
that?
days when email accounts were limited to like 500 megabytes of storage, and so data collection and these companies storing all their data wasn't so important because we knew that they had limited amounts of gigabytes to store your data. But now, I mean, since it's scaled up so much, they just can store everything and anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Pete, did you find that first Google search yet?
I'm looking for it. I made my Google account in 2008. That means I was only 3 years old. What? No way.
Wow, man, you started
Wow.
young.
Oh no, never
Wow.
mind. That's just the oldest that it collects data for. That's not my account age.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, the other thing it could be is, depending on what was being used in your school might have created a Google account for you. And
No,
just
they didn't. It's the Microsoft account.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you might have had Google at some point in time in your school district.
No, we didn't. It's Seattle.
Of course, this is true. So, school district, would you like to have that new playground or not? Although I don't remember them having all of those services available for schools that long ago.
Yeah.
But they might have.
All right. Let's see. I'm still looking for my.
While you're
first-
looking at that, I'm going to go back and have a look at the comments here. Clint gave us a list of things: PeerTube, DTube, DLive, Library, Mine, Steam, BitChute, are adding some choices. I actually wrote all those down, Clint, when you dropped in a comment the other day. I'm going to research some of those. I do have a DLive account. I don't use it right now. All my videos are now on Library. I do have Mines, but I've never actually experimented with putting videos over there. And I'm on BitChute as well. So, okay, old versions of packages sometimes are best. Yes. Like the one case, the few packages I need, like I hold Kden Live at like 18 because I hate 19. So I hold Kden Live at 18. I actually had to update to a more recent Audacity because for audiobook production, you need a plugin suite to automatically convert your pages over to the formats that you need for audiobooks. Those only work on the latest versions. So I did roll up Audacity, roll up OBS because OBS is just, they're doing a lot of good development right now on Linux. So I'm rolling OBS. And I have the highest I could get on Linux Mint 18 branch, which is 6.2. All right, you're laughing, so you found something.
What did you find, Pizza?
It was Minecraft free download.
Did it take you to download
Oh,
your new
boy.
virus here?
What?
How old were you during that?
It was in 2013, so 8.
Wow. Yeah.
What's funny is I'm playing Minecraft right now, so I haven't changed much.
I guess.
I'm part of the old geezer club. We play them truck driving games.
Hey, last week, I bought my first ever Steam game.
What? Civ
Worms,
5?
WMD.
That's
They
pretty
have
funny.
Euro Truck Simulator on sale for $5.
Hey, Worms WMD is on sale for $7 until the end of today. And it's native Linux. If it wasn't native Linux, I wasn't going to buy it. Like
All the
Mac.
truck games are.
Yeah. What amazes me is T-Mobile
Dan.
advertising. They already have a nationwide 5G network in place. Where is the infrastructure? Not in my area, at least. Not that I'm interested in it. T-Mobile actually has a pretty good infrastructure. That's, of course, they're the ultimate carriers that Mint is on, that I switched to. So I'm now on T-Mobile stuff, and it works great so far. Was I a
Hey
decade
Dan,
ago?
with Euro Truck Simulator, have you bought any of the add-on packs?
Yes. Not for Euro Truck, but I've had American Truck for a year and a half now, and I have all the states.
Because it's a strangely relaxing game to play.
It is. It really is. I mean, not only to watch 2 hours of it on stream, I pick up the controller and play for another 4,
2 hours,
But-
try 24 hours.
Wow.
Hey,
Just
I
make
have
sure you're
fif-
standing up every hour to walk around the block so you don't die of blood clots in your legs.
Well, you'd like Euro Truck there, Sleepy, because you can drive around the UK on the opposite side of the road as everyone else.
You mean the correct side of the road?
However
Nope.
you want to phrase it.
You know what's I just forgot what I was gonna say.
Who remembers my web toolbar? Yeah, I remember that thing.
Oh
That was
gosh,
classic
yeah.
malware.
Toolbars.
Robot Gamer was 1 year old back then. All right.
Does anyone remember the Ask Jeeves toolbar that I got on
Yes.
Internet Explorer somehow?
Oh Lord. I think I've had to
Oh,
fight
yeah.
with that a couple times.
I remember we would always use Firefox on our computer, and then when Chrome came out, my dad told me that Firefox sucks. He also told me that that Windows sucks. He trained me well.
Does anyone remember Miss Cleo,
Cleo, no.
the psychic hotline that used to be
yes.
called?
I do remember the psychic hotlines, yeah. If they're so psychic, they should be calling me. We have one.
Right?
We have one in State College on the way down to the mall. Every now and again, I keep on wanting to go in there. 10 years ago, I was arguing with customers at AT&T who inside that iPhone doesn't have a power button. Who insisted the iPhone did not have a power button. Really? The phone store employees were too incompetent to not realize the phone
I
didn't have a
think
power
what
button.
he's saying is that the customer thought that, and he was arguing.
Oh, I see. Sorry, Rex. I didn't read that right. Thank you. Yes, he was arguing with a customer who insisted the iPhone doesn't have a power button. That should be an easy argument to win. It's right here. Power off. See?
The iPhone doesn't have a home button.
Not anymore. And I think that was the stupidest thing they ever did. Like, it's one thing
Really?
with not
I
having...
actually like the gestures. You just have to get used to it.
Yeah,
I agree.
well, I don't know. Yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna go down that path.
I really hate the Android Pie gestures. Those are terrible. But I really like iPhone gestures. The issue with Android gestures is that there's a back button, so you still have to make a gesture or something for the back button, whereas
Yeah.
iPhones don't have the back button. So that's why Android gestures are always garbage, while iPhone can do them good.
Okay. I cannot stand the gestures, but anyway. Vincent, this is a supporter stream, so Patreon, thinklifemedia.com, and any other way of general support is how you join this one. Every now and again, I do an open chat that you do not have to be part of that system, but those are they're kind of few and far between. Okay, let's see. Journal that's scared to death to think what you were thinking 10 years ago. Yeah, that's true, maybe.
Man, that first Google search is hilarious. Did I make a Google account just to search that?
No, you probably had one created or whatever else, or made one and didn't even realize you were signed in. Petrock seconds the motion to keep a journal. That's right. See, whoever thought you'd come to a Czech channel thing and be told to keep a paper journal? All right. Let's see. Uh-oh. iKixon's gonna steal my journal. Well, I hope you can get to it first, because you know what's right on top of my journal? My gun. I kid you not. I mean, if I open this guy up right here, literally, here is gun, here is journal. Journal.
You just showed everyone where you keep your gun and journal, Tom.
You ain't making it here, because if I'm on the other end of the house, you'll get hit by the other gun.
You're in outer space anyway.
That's right. I am broadcasting from the the super place up there. So
I have a gun, a Nerf gun.
yeah.
It's Nerf or nothing.
That's right, man.
If
Like,
you get
there
hit
was
in the
actually-
right place with a Nerf gun, it really hurts.
Oh, I know it. There was actually apparently some controversy around a Nerf commercial recently. Like, why are you promoting violence? It's a Nerf gun. Get over it. According to Google, so Rex says a decade ago he was researching information on upgrading the Xbox 360 hard drives. Okay. I mainly need to worry about a subpoena, maybe. Okay. Mitchell V. Are you the same Mitch V that has a job out on Guru? About Ubuntu servers? If so, let me know. I might apply to it.
Michel Vantino, the guy who is a patron on literally every Linux Patreon ever.
Yeah. Well, I was looking through, like, it's December, January is always really light on web design stuff, so I actually don't have a lot of active projects working. So I'm like, I have a few spare minutes. Let me go on guru.com and start, dropping in some job bids on things. I found a Mitch V that's looking for somebody to do Ubuntu servers. If that's you, Mitch, let me know. I might apply to that.
I bet it is Mitchell because I know he works on servers.
I know but it was what my initial thought is though is that why are we building it this way? Because it's literally using it was using a there was something about the way the server was set up that was a little weird to me, that I would do it completely different. I'm not sure why it was that way, but yeah, is that you, Mitch? Let me know. I'm more of a computer person. I have more control of your system. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for PinePhone. I used to have $85 saved. Now I have $115 saved.
Yeah, you're getting there almost.
Cranking it up.
I used Michel Vantino's Patreon money.
Nice.
Very awesome. That is very awesome.
Disabled Google history for all my Google accounts back in 2008. There you go. Transformers, cookies, computer parts, and phone parts. Cool. Nice.
Most of the things on my Google have been mostly basic web searches and directions to places I had to go at the time.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Anna Rita, is it hard to delete your Google data? No, just go to activity.google.com. I think it's, myactivity.google.com. You'll be able to see the data and delete it right from that same page.
I was still using Netscape.
I think I was. No, wait. Did I? Yeah, I did. I did still have a computer running Netscape. It was out of date by then, but yes. Because I think the last version of that was 2008, maybe?
Yeah, I milked it for all it was worth. But my email was supported, and it was generally something that the ISP provided for free with your DSL account. Yeah. So like I had Dan blah 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 at sbcglobal.net.
Yeah, I had a few of those, and I actually switched them all because I kept on moving, and it's like my whole email address is changing. So I actually went into the evil. I went to the dark side, and I was like, let me just use the Hotmail as an account. That way, when I kept on moving and changing servers, I didn't get lost out anywhere.
That became a problem for me too after a while.
Hello,
Outlook
Steve
is actually
Zurian.
not that bad of a service compared to Gmail.
Oh, it sucks these days, I think.
Gmail or Outlook?
No, well, I mean, I guess the online Outlook. I guess some people are saying it's okay, but it's Microsoft. I just have this instant bias against it. But I just hate, they drive me crazy. Every time I want to try and log in, it's like, oh, this seems like a new login. We're going to try and verify. It's like, dude, just let me log into the stupid account. Okay, there's literally nothing here that's critically important. It's like, it drives me crazy. Sometimes I just wish there was a button for, this is not an important account. Stop pestering me with security.
I have more saved emails on my Thunderbird account than probably Google has on their server.
Wait, Thunderbird has an email service?
Yeah, like a local
the client. Yeah, it goes and fetches the mail and then deletes it off the server, and you have it in your computer.
I personally use IMAP because
I use Pop.
the reason I use IMAP is because if the email's already on the server, if it's on my computer too, if that adds a second point of access for my email if my computer happens to get hacked.
Don't let your computer get hacked.
And that's why I use IMAP.
The problem with
That's
IMAP,
also
though,
why I
is
don't
that
use a
if-
password manager.
Well, here's the thing, though. If you're doing it that method, though, that security that doesn't solve anything security, because if your computer is hacked, they can still get into it. If your phone is hacked, they can still get into it. You can get into it either way. If you do the POP3 and download it, then they might be able to see your email, but they may not be able to get access to the whole server itself. They may not, you know. But I don't know.
I have to go get ready for guitar lessons. See ya.
All right, man. Have a good one, Pizza.
All right, Pizza, take care.
Kevin,
Bye, pizza.
take care, man.
Yeah.
Learn smoke on the water. I am broadcasting from the space station, yes. Saw Star Wars. My son saw Frozen 2. My wife saw Little Women. Wow. That's nice. So y'all went to the movies together and saw different films. Oh.
I've
Yes.
seen Jumanji.
How was it?
It was okay. It was worth $5 because every Tuesday the theater has a matinee for $5. You can see whatever movie you want in the matinee times for $5, and I want to say it was full. It had lots of action to keep you interested, but it's not a movie you're gonna remember. I mean, now Ford versus Ferrari, that's a movie you're going to remember. That was put together really good with minimal CGI. They actually, to shoot the racetrack in Le Mans, they used an abandoned airport in Los Angeles.
So, Sleepy, you are safe from Frozen 2 for now. You're just delaying the inevitable, though. You realize that, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but Anna Rita says I can just put some headphones on and listen to something else.
Yeah. Bruce Scott. Hello, Bruce Scott. How's the moon base doing? Made
The
it
moon
for dinner. Yeah, Bruce Scott's Bruce Spott's he's a gray. He's on Moonbase Alpha. We fly by it every now and again.
I thought you were talking about your base on the dark side of the moon.
Oh no. I'm not at that moon base. That's a gray moon base. I'm a reptilian. So. All right. So I don't know. It's interesting looking back through the decade type stuff, I guess. Any other final things there? Let me check over, see who's over on Discord since I was over here. Let's see, Mr. Crisp Linux user. Greetings. Yeah, Pizza's immune to the slow mode. Tux Power PC, hello. Let's see. Vince, there's some goods. Hellos, what's up? Not muches. What do you all think about Ubuntu 2004 or Linux Mint is better for production use? I'm going to Linux Mint. What do you guys think? I have not played around with the what 2004 should be. Is it an alpha or beta at this point?
I think it's still beta.
Probably
Yeah,
alpha, because I don't think they beta
it's
until like,
alpha.
last month.
Alpha.
Oh, is it alpha?
It's alpha for that one.
Let me look.
The 1910 is more or less the beta one. And from using 1910, I can tell you it feels very heavy.
Yeah, I thought 1910 was one of the better Ubuntu's lately. If this thing loads. I still like Linux Mint better. They're not forcing the snap packages, which have a lot of their own issues there. All right, so we have feature freeze is February 22nd. Oh, that's right. They're not doing alphas. This is one of the big things I criticized on. They're not doing alphas and betas. They're doing tool chains. Let's see. January 9th is Ubuntu testing week. February 27th is a feature freeze for Debian import freezes. Ubuntu tweaking is on March 5th. User interface freeze is March 19th. User 26th is document string freeze. Okay, there's a beta freeze April 2nd, a beta mandatory April 2nd, a kernel freeze April 9th, a final freeze April 16th, and a final release April 23rd. So that is what the release schedule looks like. So April 23rd is when it will be out. So they're really not doing alphas, things like that. They will have one beta in the beginning of April. So for production use, I think Mint's still going to give you a little bit better of a function. You're going to have less problems with it. It's going to be less slow, less bogged down. That's my thoughts. What do you guys think?
I think it's going to be probably a good release. I know Pop OS is looking to do a lot of things with 20.04, including kind of blend between i3 and GNOME together to make a better tiling experience with the Pop OS shell.
I know Quids Up just did a review on Mint, and he for the privacy stuff and data leaks and stuff like that to see if it had anything in it. He went through the browsers, he went through the Mint, he went through any systems that might be reporting any data, and he says it's pretty clean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I like Linux Mint. They're just dedicated to not collecting data. Okay. Ubuntu's interface can be easily replicated with simple GNOME tweaks. Yeah. I like Ubuntu 18.04 now. That's what I run on most systems. I've been thinking of making the switch to Linux Mint. Yeah. I would recommend testing out Linux Mint. I think it's good. Recommend using Fedora. No suggestive Linux and stuff. I think Fedora's come a really long way. So, like Fedora, it used to be hard to install Fedora and get things to work. Like I had a friend who his dad is actually a Red Hat certified sysadmin, and he could not get Fedora to actually play DVDs or anything media related.
I can't get it to do anything either.
Well, now out of the box, as of 29, out of the box, go in there, install the RPM Fusion and the third-party repos, and you're set.
I have a copy that we're doing for Big Daddy Linux on another drive. I got it installed. I had some problems with the installer because I wanted to preserve my home partition. I got it all installed. It keeps locking up. The welcome screen has videos in it. You can't play them. It freezes up the machine, and you have to hit the reboot button. I mean, I'm just having trouble with it left and right. The Steam through the RPM Fusion does not work when you install it, so you got to use the flat pack, and the flat pack of Steam wants all your games in a different location, which means you got to either, if you have backups, move the backups to different folders or download them all over again. It's just been...
That's really strange, Dan.
Yeah, I haven't had those issues, but...
From memory, you run AMD, don't you, Dan? From memory?
Yes.
Is that right?
I have an NVIDIA graphics card, though. I have a GTX 1080 Ti. With Fedora, there's no console for it. I don't even know if it put the drivers in for it.
Interesting. Yeah.
You might need to do it through TTY.
Are you using a GNOME, or are you doing another...
Yeah, I have the GNOME, regular flavor, the workstation flavor.
Yeah, I've
actually found the GNOME experience on Fedora quite snappy. Although, I mean, GNOME's not my favorite desktop environment, but for what it is, it's quite snappy.
Yeah, I mean, I have it here on my Arch computer if I want to. I usually just run Cinnamon now.
I don't think it's the GNOME. I think it's just the Fedora don't like my hardware, and that's like a first.
That's possible. Yeah, that's possible.
Now, I could get it to work fine in a virtual machine. It's happy there.
Yeah, when I was testing the virtual machine for my video yesterday, it actually would not work as well. It would work. It would do like I had to drop it out of Wayland and into Xorg to actually get it functioning well.
Somebody told me to do that, and I don't know how to do it. What do you do? Type kill Wayland in the command line?
No, log out. You log out, and then when you're logging in, there's a gear next to your username.
I seen the gear.
Hit the gear, and then select Xorg.
Gotcha.
All right.
I will try another 3 hours with it.
There you go. Yeah, I've never had issues with it since version, I think, 28 or 29. Of course, I can't get Steam games to work on Arch. To try something else.
Yeah, I don't know how they get Steam to work on Arch. They must have some kind of repository for that.
Yeah, like I tried the Flatpak, I tried the regular repositories, I tried some other guides. It just will not work. I was like, you know what? If I'm going to play a game, I'll just bust out the Linux Mint laptop. Works for me. So Clint brings us up on that Google Activities page. The page is really weird. If deleting something, they say that it gets finally deleted and is not linked to my account anymore. So where is it linked to then? Good question, Clint. Very good question indeed. Remember, we've never been to the moon. Oh, yes, we have, Steve. I've been to the moon 5 times myself.
Come on, Hollywood faked it all out in a desert in Nevada.
No, that's what they want you to believe. I've flown to the moon a few times. And I can also confirm that the Earth is round. As a space alien, I can confirm the Earth is round. Alright, let's see. Hate snaps, one of the sort of things making me think about switching to Mint. Yep. Yep. 3D animation with Linux PepperOS is best for utilizing 3D applications. Yeah, there you go. If you're new to Linux Mint, it's great for production. Arch Manjaro will work, but you better know what you're doing and back up. Yes. Indeed. Okay. Let's see. Hope Python 2 stops being the default. Okay. Tried deleting my previous Google accounts before and it removed immediately. All former YouTube accounts are removed immediately. Hello, Joe. If I didn't say hello to you yet. I think I did, but I don't remember. Person responsible for Red Dinosaur punching a white dinosaur version of Red Hat Linux logo. Nice. Okay.
Wow, I just advanced to level 1 on Discord.
Yeah, I think I'm on level 1 myself. Don't feel too bad.
I'm quite proud.
Steam is wonky for... Who's that? Steam is wonky for Petruk on Fedora. Woohoo! Found 25 cents under the pillow. Nice. Another 3 or 4 of those, you can go buy a candy bar. This day and age. Steam works for me on Arch, but I don't use it much. Pretty sure they didn't fake the man landing. The Mythbusters even did an episode about it. Hey, I know they didn't. Said I've been there. Saw the flag. Alright, done with those comments. Let's see, what do we got over here? You installed 19.3 yet on any bare metal? No Tux Power, but I'm actually going to be doing that probably this weekend on my work computer, which is running 19.2 right now, but I am going to push that to 19.3. I'm going to be running all my system backups on that. I have this pesky website that's in my backup queue that Windows will not allow to do a backup because of the way the file names are written, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to have a problem with on Linux. Like to run pretty clean desktop setup. I just have dash to dock. There you go. That works. All right. Let's go ahead and do any other final wrap-ups here. So anybody have any final comments to tell us about? While I pull up some websites I need to display.
We know now that we're at 2020, those years like the 70s, the 80s, and 90s seem like they're long gone.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not even worth talking about anymore.
Yeah, I feel the same. So my apologies. I think in 2030, I'm not going to remember this chat we had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it'll be archived for permanent viewing.
Oh well, that is true. Have to go back and rewatch it.
All right. Okay, so of course my shameless promotion today. If you have not checked out my new channel is live, and that is called Writing Done Right. Link is coming in there. So sub to that one if you want to learn how to take your books from a manuscript mode to production mode using all free and open source software. So the goal of that is to be pushing that. And we got 62 subs up on my first day. So very cool. Thank you for that, guys. And the next video we'll be doing is how to do drop caps in LibreOffice, because somebody asked a question about that. And it's a nice, good, easy, quick video to do. So we'll be doing that. Of course, the website with the newsletters and everything else is linked at writingdoneright.net, which I will go ahead and drop right in there as well. And of course, we are live streaming on my other channel today, first time in about 2 weeks. So hopefully people didn't forget about the channel over Christmas. But today we are actually answering Bible QA questions. Specifically, I was asking a question, is it a sin not to drink? Which is a very intriguing question. We're going to be addressing that on that channel over there. So you can jump on over there. That is at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, which is 1 hour from now, if you want to jump on over there and see more about that. So definitely check out the writing channel if you are into writing. And that's going to teach you a lot about writing and things like that. And the other channel is about Christian thought and discussion. So let's see. Comments over here. The kitty's like, it sounds like he's wrapping up. So let me come over here and bother him for some kitty treats. Oh, buddy.
Oh boy, we snagged one.
Yeah. Ready, buddy? You ready for kitty treats? Come back to our main screen here. Sure, we got audio everywhere, which we do. Don't slobber on my cat pad. And we'll go ahead and open these up for you, okay? Boy, kitty. Stick your paw in there. Stick something in there. Stick a paw in there. Oh, we got paw. Oh, we got more paw.
I think my cat can hear through my headphones.
Uh-oh. He's like, where are they? Where are they? Of course, now I'm teasing my cat more. He's just like, dude, I want my kitty treats, yo. There you go. Oh.
We give our cat, she gets Sheba perfect portions.
Oh, yeah.
Those things are, she loves them. And they're not expensive.
There we go. All right, here, you can have the cat pad if you want it, buddy. Here, have the cat pad. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna steal the cat pad. He's got a pad. All right, let's see. Hello, Rulon.
So just to confirm,
Oh, good.
I can skip ahead to January 2030 and set a reminder for myself to rewatch this stream.
Oh, January 2030, you can't. That sucks.
I can.
Oh, you can. Are you doing that in Google, or are
Yes.
you doing that in something else?
Google.
Nice. You'll
You
get a
can-
notice.
Vince-
What was this about?
Vince, you can simply just download the video and save it somewhere.
But he'll forget to watch it 10 years from now.
I'm likely to forget it. That's right.
Put it on a Millennium disc.
There you go. Yeah.
I don't think players will exist anymore. Like, not even in another 2 years.
I don't know. I think that you do realize you can still go to the store and buy blank cassette tapes, right? And Walkmans. I mean, there's like one model at your local Best Buy. I don't know what. Let me have a look at Amazon.
There
Let me
is
see what we
one
can find on
cassette
Amazon.
tape manufacturer left.
The difference there, though, is, Tom, that the cassette players and VHS players made back then were made much more durable. These DVD players now are just pieces of rubbish.
They're garbage.
They break. Yeah, they break.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Anything.
I mean, hey, $18 right here. $18, you can get a cassette player recorder. I mean, there's a lot here on Amazon. Man, dang, there's a lot of these.
Okay. I stand corrected.
Wow. Yeah, a whole page of just cassette players. Everything ranging from your old-fashioned boom boxes to your personal Walkmans. This one's a cassette player with an expandable, retractable antenna. Yeah.
They're brand new.
Yeah.
So I was going to say, you buy any really old vintage or classic cassette players, the belts in them are most likely rotted out.
Yeah, let me pull up the article view here so you guys can see. Look at this. Look at this, man. Cassette tape players. Look at this. $21, $34. This guy's got a little flip out antenna. We got a little boom box thing over here. What if they have any of the dual tape ones? You guys remember the dual tapes? You used to have a dual tape one where you put it down, you pause the one, you hit play, and then it would play through 2 tapes. It'd play the one. When it got to the end of the one, it would flip off, pause on the second one, and then play the second tape.
Oh, yeah, the original long play.
Yeah, yeah. Those are the days, man. You could actually play 2 tapes simultaneously.
Or the ones that automatically flip your tape over without actually flipping your tape over.
Yeah, I never had one that
auto
fancy.
Reverse.
I never had one that fancy, but
I did.
Oh, look at these things. Look at this thing. This thing was spawned out of the 1980s. We got 2 tape decks, a radio, and a record player. Look at this. It's a beast.
What brand is the record player?
This Jensen is the... Okay, let's see. That's not Jensen. Trextronic? I don't know. Probably
If
not
Peter
good.
or Quentin were here, they'd wonder what we're talking about. They'd
I
just be
know.
completely mystified.
What are you talking about?
Crosley phonographs that they sell at Walmart and stuff like that, those things are literally bottom of the line garbage. They'll eat up your records.
Yeah. That's I think how much it's going to be. Yeah. Fascinating. So yeah, you can still buy some of that kind of stuff. That's kind of crazy. So wow. Confirmed 19.3 works great on Intel Nuke. Replaced Windows 7 on 5 nukes at work last week. Nice. I gotta get me one of these nukes.
Yeah. Yeah, you know. So what I did, I did one install, and then I created an image of it through Clonezilla, and then I just cloned it to every other machine, and it worked flawlessly. It was fantastic.
Awesome. That sounds good. Yeah, I want to look into the nukes soon. Okay. It's 19.3. Okay. Why wouldn't they be available? Vinyl records are coming back stronger than ever. Hey, it's the whole cassette tape at the top of it, man. Yeah, you can buy antennas to watch local TV. That is still a thing. Local Walmart has a small vinyl record section now. That's kind of funny. You know you're getting old when you start seeing the old trends come back.
Well, Target has a small section too up here, but they have the most popular records. You know, like Michael Jackson's Thriller is the highest selling record ever. Mm-hmm. It's like 25 million copies sold. So they have that. They have your Journey, the greatest hits, and things like that, and they're represses. Yeah.
So some of the fun, interesting history that I found when I was researching my book on media entertainment was it was Michael Jackson is the person responsible for black people being on MTV. Literally, MTV did not want to play anything that was from black people. They were like hardcore racist. And then Michael Jackson comes out with Billie Jean and Thriller, and they're like, "You want me on there or not?" Like, we don't have a choice.
Both of them songs are in the same album.
Yep. Yep. That's why that
Wow.
album is, and people will come in and it's like, oh no, Beatles is one of the best-selling bands of all time. No, they're not. They have like 1 or 2 good albums, in the high sellers. But guys like Pink Floyd has 2 in the top 10 bestsellers of all time. Michael Jackson, I think, has most.
Fleetwood
in the
Mac
top 10.
Rumors is like in the top 5.
Yep. Yeah. So it's kind of fascinating. All right. Let's see. Is there anything else over here? I don't think so. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this guy up for the night. So don't forget to have a look at the live stream at 9 o'clock on the other channel. I'll go ahead and drop the link in there one more time in just a moment here. Let's see. Copy link address. There it is. So I'll go ahead and drop that link in there once again. Jump on over to that show. That starts in about 45 minutes. So thanks for coming along on this one, and we will be back with the news tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.
See you later.
Bye.